how's it going?
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, thanks.
Oh,
Yeah, so Lesley, welcome to the Cybernaut Club podcast.
thank you very much for inviting me. It's lovely to be here.
Yeah, that's great. It's my pleasure. So unusually, or it's like an unusual case is that today we've actually already seen each other,
Yeah.
but we won't say where. Like we won't let on.
No.
No,
Okay. Okay.
we'll keep it a secret. But we
Oh,
do work together, don't we?
we do. Yes, we do. So it's um met you a couple of years ago now, I think, wasn't it, at work?
Yeah,
So
oh,
yeah,
yeah, creeping up on 3 years now.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
gone really quick, hasn't it?
it has. Yes. And I think the first memory of you was where both of us wearing crazy Christmas outfits. So yeah.
Yeah, that's my first memory of you as well. I was I'm going to describe what you were wearing. You can describe what I was wearing if you want.
Oh, if I
So
can remember, I'll try.
so you were like an elf on the shelf or something.
Yeah, that's right. I was a crazy elf, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
just a
with
Santa's
like
little
all
helper.
of the stripes and frills
Yeah,
that go with being an elf. And
yeah,
did you have a candy cane, an inflatable
I
candy cane?
did. Yes,
Yeah.
an inflatable candy cane. Yeah, with a crazy hat
Mm.
on as well.
Yeah, and we got a photo together because can you remember what I was wearing?
I want to say Father Christmas, or was it the dinosaur?
No, no, I was wearing a gold suit.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Yeah.
Santa in gold. Yes, yeah,
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 I was head to toe in gold
that's
with a
right.
Santa hat on, and I
Yeah,
had beard baubles
yeah.
in my beard. Yeah, so
Oh,
I've got some photos. I might pop one of those up at the
oh,
end.
okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
um, yeah, so we're here tonight to learn all about you,
right.
all about your career, or maybe interesting stories from your career or your life,
Yeah,
and then hopefully we can talk a bit about work experience, I guess,
yeah.
without being too specific about where we're
No,
from.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't got my work background, so that's fine.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no
yeah.
giving it away, so that's great. Yeah, no. Um,
I can see you've got some nice Toy Story figures going on there in the background.
yeah, I have a bit of confession. I'm a bit of a kid, really. I do like geeky science things, sci-fi, and retro things as well. So these are toys that I actually pinch from my children that they think has gone to charity shops.
Ah, okay. So, oh no. Right. Well, we won't say anything more about that then.
Apart
Are you,
from Florence, Florence is mine.
oh,
I love
okay.
the Magic Roundabout.
Right. Yeah. Are you are you looking forward to the new Buzz Lightyear movie? Did you know that there's one coming?
I did know, I did see that. Yeah, I'm always interested, but I tend to wait till it comes on the TV because I stay at home. We don't
Yeah.
go to the cinema. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I just found out that the new Ghostbusters is out now, like today. So I think I might go watch that tomorrow. I'm
Right,
very
yeah,
excited for that. I've been
yeah,
a long time Ghostbusters fan.
yeah.
So
Are you old enough to see the original film?
not at the cinema, but I remember in the early 80s it came out on VHS,
Yes.
and my parents did buy that. And there's a funny story. I must have been really young because I was born in
Hmm,
81, and I think
right.
Ghostbusters is 85, is it? I think
Yes, I think so.
something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, probably. Yeah,
Um, so it was probably about 1986 when it came out on VHS
yeah,
at that time, because it used to take a long time to be released.
yeah.
So yeah, I remember being in bed, and I was excited about this film because of the cover, but obviously I'm only like 5 years old, so I'm too young, and my parents won't let me
Hmm,
watch it.
yeah.
Um, but I could hear them watching it, and I remember hearing the noises of like the library scene and the music, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh, what is this? Like, I need to like go
yeah.
find out what this is. So I remember I snuck downstairs and I just waited. I was about 4 or 5 stairs up in the dark by myself, and I was just
Mm,
sat there listening. And then the next day, or I can't remember if they came out and caught me. But I was like, please, can I watch it? And they were like, no, you can't watch it. And I said, but I've listened to most of it and I'm fine. So anyway, they the next day or that weekend, they let me watch it.
Yeah.
And the scariest bit for me, even now, is when they're in the library at the beginning, and they're walking through and they see the old lady, and then Ray says to them, get her, like, and they go and get it, and then she turns around, she's like, rah, like with the skeleton face.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like I can't deal with that. Even now, like, it's still spooky. But yeah, it very quickly became my favorite film, and I wore that VHS tape out. I played it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Do you have anything like that? Any films that you wore out?
Not really. I'm not tend to one to rewatch films over and over again, whereas my husband is, and he's an avid film watcher. And I have to walk out if he's been watching it for too many times.
What does he typically watch again and again?
He loves Stardust.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know of that film. I haven't seen it all the way through, but
kind of like a fairy tale, but it's got good humor in it. So Robert De Niro's in it, and I can't remember all the other players, but it's really good.
Yeah, there's some really big stars in that one. It's like an all-star cast kind of job.
Yeah. And then he likes things like Moon, which is sci-fi, but it's really
I love that film. It's so good. Yeah. That is definitely rewatchable. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, what is going on here? And then it all becomes sort of clear at the end. If you haven't seen that one, like, you should definitely watch it.
I've watched it. I have watched it. But, and then we're quite late into sci-fi, so we've just finished watching Another Life on Netflix.
Okay.
So that's really good.
Right. I haven't seen that yet. There's so much sci-fi on Netflix to watch. There's tons of it. What am I currently watching at the moment? I'm still going through Seinfeld. I've got like a bit of an obsession with Seinfeld, so I tend to rewatch that, or Family Guy, over and over and over, especially when at night when I'm nodding off, like I'll put them on then and go to sleep with the episodes on in the background.
Oh, well, my mum, who's in her late 70s, loves The Big Bang Theory. So she'll be rewatching the series and tell me, do you remember the one with Sheldon and Howie and whatever? And I have to, So she's hilarious. She just laughs the whole time while she's trying to tell me the punchline.
And how old's your mum?
In her 70s.
Nice. When I was about 17, 18, my best friend Andy and I used to spend a lot of time at his house at that time, and his nana lived with his family, his mum and dad, and she's like the nicest, sweetest little like frailest old lady, and she always had Frosties like for breakfast. So I was like, yes, Nana, I knew I could always get good cereal when I went and stayed over there. And one day Andy and I, we were heading into Manchester, and we were going to spend the money that we earned that week in like HMV and hot dogs and what have you. And we said goodbye to his nana. She was watching like a Star Trek DVD or Stargate or something like that. And we said, right, I'll see you later, Nana. And then we came back, I don't know, 5-8 hours later, however long you spend out when you're shopping on a Saturday. And he was like, Nana, you've been watching the same DVD all day? And she said something like, oh yeah, I thought I'd seen this episode before. The DVD has just been going on repeat all day. And the lady just, she enjoyed it, I think. So
Stargate was one of mine as well, like that.
I love sci-fi. It's my favorite genre, without a doubt. And I think it started with Ghostbusters and Back to the Future and E.T.
Terminator for me.
Yeah, yeah. Terminator was. I was a tiny bit older. I was still too young to have seen it,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
Terminator definitely.
yeah.
Massive Terminator fan.
Mm.
What's your favorite Terminator film?
Um, I would have to say the first one, the original,
Yeah.
because that set the scene for everything. The second one I went to see on my own in the cinema,
Wow.
and when that foot came down and crashed into the soil, and all the
Yeah.
bodies, the skeletons, it was like, and I am a screamer. So don't ever go to cinema with me. I'm a screamer.
What kind of sci-fi do you prefer? Because there's kind of different genres, isn't there? Like,
Yeah.
do you?
Well, it's very strange because I like lots of different ones. So, for instance, did you ever watch Farscape?
Yeah, yeah.
Love
I
that
did like
as
that.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, love that. But that was quite the sort of with the outfits and things was
it was.
quite risque in a way.
Yeah, it was kind of like risque and kind of like dark, but like
Yes.
it reminded me a lot of Buck Rogers in the
Yeah.
25th
Yeah.
century. I thought that that was like a modern take on that old
Mhm.
series.
Yeah.
And I was at the right age, and I dig Farscape a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was
Loved
very
that.
cool. And the
Yeah.
bad guy looked amazing. I was
Yes.
like, whoa.
Yeah.
He was like all in this leather, wasn't he? And he
Yeah.
looked like
Yeah.
really strung
Lycra
out
and
and
leather. Yeah.
gaunt. And he was almost like he
Yeah.
was attached to the
Yeah.
outfit as well in some
Yeah.
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
scary.
Definitely. And then I love Picard, Star Trek, The Next Generation, Voyager. Love all those. Another Life is a bit like it that I've just watched. But then I like The Matrix. Love
Yeah.
The Matrix as well.
Are you
Think,
excited about the new
oh
one?
yeah, yes, definitely. I've been watching the trailer,
Yeah,
really getting into that. So
me
I'm
too.
looking forward to that one. I might
I
have
am
to
I am as well.
cinema.
When the Matrix came out, I was like 18 when that came out, and
Yeah,
my friend John Grimshaw, shout out to
right.
John, gave me a pirated copy.
Oh.
Oh, so yeah, John gave me a pirate copy of the Matrix. You should go get him, FBI. Um, and yeah, I wore that tape out as
Yeah,
well. I watched it again and again, and I thought, wow, this film's going to change everything. And it,
yeah,
in a way, it kind of did.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Like,
it's quite a profound one as well, wasn't it? Thinking about the
yeah,
concept and it's not about the films; it's about the writers that write the film, and it's how they think and imagine and put the concept all in place and gets you questioning: is this actually real or is it fantasy? Um,
yeah. I wonder if like I never really heard of simulation theory
mm,
before the Matrix came out,
no,
and now I hear it a lot in the past sort of 5 years. Have you heard of that simulation theory?
no, I haven't. No,
So it's the idea that we are all living in a simulation right now,
right?
like the Matrix, and we always have been
Yeah,
for the whole of our known time,
yeah,
which seems crazy to me. But yeah, there's like smarter people than
yeah,
than me writing
yeah,
actual scientific reports on this sort of stuff. And
yeah.
there seems to be some evidence of it, that it might be true, but I I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, because I was talking about simulation theory.
So could have
But
been, couldn't
maybe
it?
the
Yeah,
architects are watching and they're like,
yeah,
"Ooh, we need to
that's it.
put a pin in this one."
Yeah, maybe. It would be really cool.
um. So yeah. Yeah. Films.
Yeah.
They're awesome. The last movie I went to watch at the cinema was the new Marvel, The Eternals.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah.
It got a lot of flack. It got slated by critics, but I
Mhm.
really enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
enjoyed all of it actually. I didn't have any complaints except for that some of the fight scenes were a little bit too dark,
Right.
which tends to happen when companies are trying to save money.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, or if the CGI is too complex and it's obvious that something's going to look not great, they tend to
Yeah.
turn the brightness down a bit, or do fight scenes at night,
Right.
because of the immense like processing power it takes to
Yeah.
render those scenes. So yeah, apart from that, I enjoyed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And before that, I watched Shang-Chi. Have you seen that?
No, no, I
That-
haven't been to the cinema for maybe 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time.
So
Yeah.
even before COVID.
Probably, yeah, I
What?
think so. I can't remember. It might have been a children's film that I watched. Doctor Dolittle might have been the
Yeah.
last one.
So what stopped you going?
Um, the children. So my children, one of my children has autism, so I
Right.
have to decide whether it's something that she would enjoy watching,
Yeah.
or yeah. So I usually go with, if I go with my son. He likes movies, so it's difficult and balancing
Yeah.
what everyone likes. Yeah.
Did you say it was your daughter?
Yes.
Like they do have autistic screenings, don't they?
Yes.
What's the difference between like a regular screening and an autistic screening?
So they'll put the lights up so it's not as
Okay.
dark for them, and they'll turn the volume of the film down.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
she doesn't have an attention span to watch something like that
Yeah.
for as long. And it was quite painful watching Doctor Dolittle for her. It was, yeah, you could see her fidgeting and can I go to the loo and things. So yeah.
And how does it affect her? Is it like because the screen is so big, is it there just too much to take in, or is it like a
Mm,
sensory overload or
well, I don't really think so because she can't watch films at home either.
right?
So she's like 20 minutes, her span of attention is about 20 minutes. So she'll
Just
watch,
like me then.
yeah, yeah, or you know, young people that
That's
have
pretty
children
good
with
though. 20
them.
minutes is
Yeah,
pretty good because that,
yeah,
some of the people we teach,
yeah,
they're a bit less,
yes,
sometimes a bit less
yeah,
than that.
bit less
That's
than that.
that's why we have to dress so crazy
Yeah,
sometimes, just to
to attract their attention and
yeah.
get them to focus on what they need to learn. Yeah.
Um, so did you am I able to ask, like, do you find it different or difficult, like having a child with autism?
Challenging is
Challenging.
the word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you can be doing something that they do all the time and it's fine, and then you do that again and it's, whoa, please don't do that, and oh hell, that breaks loose kind of thing. So it
Yeah.
it is difficult, and you have to learn, and you every day is a different day, and then every day is a different challenge. So yeah.
And you probably have to have a lot of patience for that kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah. Um, and at what age did you know that there was a difference?
um Ever since we adopted her.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh right, so you adopted
Yeah.
her and you knew from the offset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we adopted her and her brother. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really sweet.
Yeah.
So they're aware of that. They
Yes.
know, like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So
oh, I didn't know that. That's really nice, like really sweet.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, uh,
Adoption is a very hard process to go through.
yeah,
Um,
I have two friends back up in Lancashire, and they're currently in the process of adopting. Yeah, my friends Martin and Chris. They've been together for a long time, and they're in that phase of their life now where they've been thinking about starting a family together rather than just being the two of them.
yeah.
And yeah, they've been going through the motions for a baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's going well from what I heard, like last when
Yeah.
I spoke with them. But it seems to take a very long time, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes. It can be years. It can happen quickly. It depends on the process of the matching and the training that you have to go through, and then the family backgrounds and references and checks and things. So
Are we all right to talk about that for a little bit? Like the process of that, like what's
yeah. Yeah.
because I don't know anything about that at all.
Okay. So you have various different, you will be given different scenarios. You're talked about safeguarding, about the traumas that the children may have experienced.
Yeah.
So it's really sort of like a reality check of explaining all the different possibilities and what the children may have experienced in their early life trauma, and all children that have been adopted will come with trauma. So, and I don't think you're ever really prepared for it, however much training you're given. It's something that every journey that you go on with your children as a family is a learning curve. And it's the same with any family as well. It's just that these children that have been adopted will have suffered trauma and some kind of developmental issues maybe as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently read that, now I hadn't heard this before, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I recently read that there is such a thing as autism or autism symptoms brought on by trauma. Is that right? And then that can sometimes be temporary.
I can't answer that. I don't know. I'm not technical,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be able to say. But children can, or adults can. We all are. They all say that we are on what was the autistic spectrum. You know, we all come along that line somewhere, although it's called ASD now. So
Yeah.
and there are different sort of I've forgotten the word, but different
levels, or yeah, or different ways in which it displays itself.
Yeah, different diagnosis. So you can have pathological demand autism, PDA, which affects children differently, to Asperger's. So, and we're not supposed to label them with those different diagnoses now. It's just ASD.
Yeah. Yeah, because yeah, like it's it's like further segregation or differentiation that's probably not needed or helpful.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So how long of a process was it for you and your husband?
It was probably about 18 months.
Okay. Well, that doesn't seem too bad. Like that. Yeah.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Wow. And do you meet the children beforehand? Like, do you have an opportunity to like a period of getting to know one another and seeing if it works out?
So you would be matched. So you have your social worker as a parent, and then the children have their social workers. So the social workers sort of work it out that this would be a good match.
Yeah.
And then you are then go through a panel where you are matched to those children, and you will have read up about them as well. And then you have a period of introductions. So that can be over a period of weeks, where you meet with the children, first of all, in their environment, and then you slowly integrate them into your own environment. And it's done quite quickly over those weeks. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you were in that phase of the process,
yes,
were you excited? Like, were you?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was, oh my goodness, you've suddenly got a child that you're responsible for. And yeah, excited, apprehensive, raring to go, all those feelings. Yeah.
Did you ever have like something that I experienced a lot, or I did in the beginning when when our children arrived, or our first daughter, Penelope, did you ever experience imposter syndrome or anything like that? Because that's something that I think that's probably a form of like anxiety that I have, where I could be at work and I think, am I good enough? Like, do I belong here? And sometimes like I have that in my personal life as well. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
am I a good dad? Am I doing the right thing? Am I saying the right things? Did I treat her fairly in that instance?
mhm,
Is she going to be raised right? I have all of these many concerns, like on a daily basis. It's
yeah.
agonizing having kids, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah, I mean, all the time, so it every day is different. You never know what you're going to get through when you walk in the front door after work. You don't know what you're leaving. You might have had. I've got teenage hormones at the moment, so
Yeah.
don't talk to me, mum, or stop judging me, or stop being sketchy. And then I come to work and I'm judgy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, are you good enough as a parent? Are you good enough as a teacher? Or yeah, we always question everything. I think if you didn't
Yeah.
question, then I don't feel that you are being true to yourself.
Yeah, that you perhaps you're not growing as
Yeah,
as a human, or growing
yeah,
as in the right kind of ways. Like if you always think that you're the best at everything,
yeah.
then there's then
You
you
can
don't
never
you don't
grow.
leave any room for
No,
improvement, do you?
that's it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's an amazing part of your life. Thanks very much for
Yeah.
sharing that. That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
So like was that something that you always wanted to do? Because I've got some friends who live in Spain, Kuro and Lucy,
Mhm.
and they, like, Kuro is just dead set against having children, just because he just says there's enough of us on the planet already. And they're both in a good position, with their careers and everything, and they're looking, eventually, once they've kind of had their fun in their
Yeah.
30s, to adopt.
Mhm.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
It's
not it's not the same for everybody. But it's something that I've always thought about as well, that if I could, like, I would like to adopt a child or foster a
mhm.
child, just to give somebody else, a nice place to live, a nice environment, and to look after them and make sure that they're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was something I wasn't able to have children. So we wanted to help and somebody less did so in a disadvantaged position, and give them the opportunities to grow and develop and to become a good human being. And we're able to provide that for them, and to give them become a good person really, and give them those opportunities that they wouldn't normally have got. So my son is at a grammar school. He's passed he had the opportunity to do his 11 plus. Would he have got that if he was kept with his birth family? It's a bit of a contentious issue. Is that the case? But I have given him that opportunity to see how far he can go. And yeah, I feel really pleased as punch, when he says, "Oh, thanks for that, mum," and whatever it is I've helped him do. Um, that's what it's there for. It's to get them to be able to achieve something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's really beautiful. And like, you probably don't know this about me, but my dad, he was born in 1958, and he was taken into care when he was 11 months old.
Wow.
And after that, he went into a care home, and then into an adopted family later on. So, like, all the kids from his family, or quite a few of them, because I think there was more than 10
Right.
at one point, and I think there was about 5 or 6 of them all went into care
Oh,
together.
yeah.
um, and that I think that had a weird effect on him
Mm-hmm.
growing up,
Yeah.
and changed his personality, or um, it kind of, in one way, made him able to deal with adversity, but also gave him personality traits that, I guess, you know,
Yeah.
don't want to use the word normal, but you know,
No.
people with a normal upbringing probably wouldn't
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
like anger and not dealing
Yeah.
with things in the right way.
Mm.
And then my younger brother also went into care after I left home when I was 17. And my dad put him into care because he kept running away.
Right.
And, you know, I just wish that my brother had found somebody like you, because he he just went from bad to worse. And he he gave me his CRB form one time to look after. He was going to Spain, and he was thinking that he was going to go and live there.
Right.
And he said, "Can you look after this for me? I need to keep hold of it." And he handed me this envelope, and I was like, "Whoa, what's this?" And I opened it, and the thing was like more than 12 pages long. And I
Wow.
was like, "What's all this?" And it was just incident after incident after incident of things that, you know, behaviors and incidents that happened as he was growing up in that environment,
Wow.
and after he came out as well. Yeah, tricky. So, you know,
Yeah.
you provide, you know, obviously you're a family now, but I just, you know, want to say like thanks, because like you provide a service that is so valuable, like to the society that we live in.
Yeah.
Genuinely, because I've seen the effects firsthand, like in my own family, where
Yeah.
kids haven't had that love and that support,
Mm.
and I've seen that effect on them. You know, luckily I was a bit older, and I had good friends to support me and look after me, and I kind of, you know, made my own way through college and through going to uni.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a long time to find my own way. It was basically from 2007 onwards. I've
Right.
kind of, you know,
Mm.
figured out that education was the path for me.
Yeah.
And you know, and gaining more knowledge,
Yeah.
as you know, as much knowledge, as many skills, you know, networking with people, making as many friends as possible, communicating with people and being open.
Yeah.
That kind of became, you know, my own personal philosophy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's fantastic, because you know we've all got to grow and go on our journey, and it in a way comes back to what we do in our day job to help and show young people that path,
yeah,
show those experiences, because we are knowledgeable, we have done those things, but it is so difficult to get them to see that, because they're not in that state of mind
yeah,
ready. Some of them are, some of them aren't, and it's just working with those young people in their own individual way and supporting them.
mm.
um, and
It can be tricky, can't it? Because you know, like experience is all about testing boundaries and, you know,
yeah,
trying things out. And you
yeah,
know, that's, you know, the definition of the word. You've got to
yeah,
experience all of these things yourself. But sometimes I see some people, some young people, make some really silly mistakes, like that
yeah,
that's going to cost them years to kind
yeah,
of, you know, to sort out. And I just think, you know, why are you doing that? And I try and
yeah,
tell them, you know, don't be like me. You don't have to wait until you're in your
mm,
20s to sort your life out. Like,
yeah,
you know, you're here now when you're 16, 17, 18. You can
mm,
sort it out.
yeah.
Um,
And it is a lot, you know. Well, I will have to say that there is 10 years difference between us.
right.
um, so for me to have grown up with no internet,
Yeah.
um, and to know, you know, when I was at primary school, I had a BBC computer with no screen, and it was just ticker tape, you know, and
Yeah.
I wanted to see that screen. But young people now have computers and grow up with social media.
Yeah.
We
They
didn't
have them in the
have
palm of their hand all the
that.
time.
Yes,
They
yeah,
get grumpy at you when you say,
yeah,
"Hey guys,
yeah.
can you just put that away for a second?"
Yeah, look this way, turn your screens off and turn
Yeah.
around and look at me. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sort of like in between. So yeah, I was you know, my first computer, or the first computer that I used to work on in school, in high school was Windows 3.0, and then
Oh, right.
and then Windows 95, and it wasn't
Yeah.
very long between. It was just like a year between the 3.0 machines and the 95 machines. So it was like right on the cusp. And then I left school in 98 and went to college and did IT.
Mhm.
But we had 3.5-inch floppy disks, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there was no cloud storage, there was no
No.
USB drives, there's no USB, like they didn't
No.
exist.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, you could quite easily lose all of the work that you did.
Yeah.
And my mates and I, we never complained about it. We just knew that that's what we had to work with, and we spent every spare minute that we weren't in the classroom in the library working on the assignments, because we
Yeah.
didn't have computers at home and
No.
we didn't have the internet. Like we had to use books
Yeah.
and type stuff up, or if there was the internet, we were using like encyclopedias and stuff like that
Yeah.
online. Encyclopedia Britannica, I think, was like a piece of software that was
Yeah.
installed on the PCs.
That's
So there was no Wikipedia,
No.
nothing
No.
like
I
that.
mean, you know, yeah, because I still got that concept of when when I went to college, I had folders, Lever Arch,
Yeah,
A file, A4 folders, and you put all
yeah,
your
I did.
notes in there.
Yeah,
You know, I studied land surveying and cartography, and so I was in the darkroom making photography, doing maps, and you got your big lever arch folders that you had to lug around with you on the bus and take them around everywhere.
yeah, same. Like
They
I had
just
the
had their
big,
phones.
yeah, lever arch folder. You had to keep everything in it in a certain
Yeah,
order, all of the module
yeah,
content and the floppy disks in there as
yeah,
well. And when you handed your assignment in, it was printed out and it had to be in a
yeah,
certain order with the cover sheet on
yeah,
and the floppy disk,
yeah.
you know, and they marked them by hand.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, totally different now. Totally different. So you did cartography. Is that your
Yeah,
background? You're a
yeah,
map maker.
I am. I was, yeah, just at a college. I did map making and I did work experience at in a cartographers in Hertfordshire.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because like I'm into maps, and I kind of, I don't want to say accidentally, but I did a very short stint at the land registry
Yeah.
before starting this role.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I studied land surveying and cartography, where I did a GCSE in surveying, where we were using old techniques and learning about surveying. And I actually thought it was market research surveying at first. I thought this is a good GCSE, market research, but it actually ended up being surveying. And so, yeah, I went on to I love outdoors, being outside in nature. So land surveying is the perfect job where you're leveling, you're using your theodolite.
How do you do that? Say, what sort of project would they give you when you start? So would they say go and survey, like what kind of size of an area would they give you to check out?
So we surveyed the campus. So we just went round and put all, oh, it's years ago now. You got my brain thinking, but I would be doing leveling, and then angles and theodolite and setting out buildings, or we would set out a
Uh,
square.
Is
And
that where you see you might see one person with a tripod and a
yeah,
device like an orange device?
yeah,
It's got like a mirror on it,
yeah, and a
and you
star.
see somebody else down further. You know, they're
Yeah,
looking for a signal that's
yeah,
coming back.
yeah.
Okay.
So leveling is your measuring how the land is going flat or you know, up undulating. So you'd have a staff and you had to rock it backwards and forwards, and when you read it through the theodolite, because you'd have to read it when it was closest to you, not closest, it's a level, you would take the reading, but now it's all done electronically.
Right.
And so when I was learning, we also heard this new thing called GPS.
Okay. Yeah.
And
The
GPS has just been created with all the satellites.
yeah, the
Um,
global positioning system.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so we did that. And then I also did photogrammetry,
All right.
which
What's
is,
that?
so that's aerial photography, where you have two photos taken alongside each other, and you bring them together. It's like early virtual reality.
Okay.
And then as you
Like
brought,
Google Earth.
yeah, no, well, no, as you brought the photos together, they would merge and become 3D.
Oh,
So
okay.
you had, I can't remember the name of the instrument that you used, but then like
Yeah.
two magnifying glasses that you looked down, and, or you looked through one, and as you brought the photos together, it would then turn into 3D. So early virtual reality
Yeah.
goggles.
When I was younger, I somebody gave me a picture of Mary, the mother of Jesus,
Oh, right.
or Jesus, or something like that, and it was it was like a postcard, and it had that effect. So if you turned it one way and turned it the other, it was like 3D, like you could
Oh,
see
right.
the
Yeah,
image
yeah,
moving. Is
yeah.
that the same sort of thing that you're talking about?
Yeah, I suppose so. But yeah, it's
Almost like a hologram, almost.
yeah. No, no, it's not hologram. It's more 3D, so that when you put your hand under the picture or in front of the picture, you actually were in space. You were in above
Right.
the sky. Yeah, in the sky.
I
So
need to see that. I need to see.
photogrammetry. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm struggling to visualize it. So yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Wow. So did you do that as a profession?
No, no. After that course, I then went on to study in Doncaster, and I studied mineral surveying. So I
Okay.
actually was looking at being working in the mines, but then, they all got closed.
Yeah, coming from up north, that'd be somewhere that
Yeah.
I was thinking that I might end up. There was a lot of mines around in Burnley that were all closed,
Yeah.
and there was always rumor of there was a playing field near the school where I would walk
Yeah.
towards my mate's house with him, and he'd say, "Be careful on this field because you'll fall down
I'm a
fall down into the
sinkhole.
mine."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
But
God.
yeah, I don't know whether that's true or not, but yeah,
No.
definitely there's tons of like mines up
Yeah.
north, and
Yeah.
even even in Derbyshire, isn't there, with
Yeah. Yeah. So
in Castleton where you have the Blue John mines. I know it's not
yeah.
coal, but
No, I went down the basalt mines. I think they were in Derbyshire. So I blew up some basalt underground. So
I
that was
really
on my college course.
I re- I really like it in caves. Like
Yeah.
I up
These
in
weren't caves, these were huge. They had huge trucks, dumper trucks, the big ones that you see on Gold Rush and things like that. They were
wow.
underground. It was huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to a working coal mine
Yeah.
in Yorkshire because I used to work with a young man who had Asperger's or ASD,
Right.
and I did that for quite a long time. And part of his part of his sort of obsession was that he loved to travel and he loved to go to places where there was mines or caves.
Yeah.
So we every month we'd go on a trip, and I ended up going down a lot of these places.
Wow.
We went to the Beamish
Yeah.
model town,
Yeah.
where it's like a living museum, and there was a coal mine there,
Yeah.
and you could go under it, and you had to watch your head, and some of the mining equipment was still there.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure.
actually went down an actual working coal mine at Maltby. So I was at the front. I went through the front of the rock face, the coal face, as it was being cut.
Wow.
Yeah.
And were
And it,
you like were you thinking that that was something that you wanted to do? You were
yeah.
keen to get down there.
Yeah. Yeah. I come from. I have my great grandfather was Scottish and he was a miner. I think really I wanted to find a diamond and work in a diamond mine,
Yeah.
but yeah, but it's very hot, dirty, and dark. Well, in places it's dark and frightening. At
Yeah.
in the coal mine, yeah, it really was. Yeah, my
Um.
my light got caught from my hat onto when we were walking in front of the coal face, and it was all automated. So it was like if this siren goes, you need coal face, and my hat got caught whilst the alarm went off. So it was like a panic that all of us students were caught in whilst this huge machinery was trying to move forward. So
Wow.
yeah, we got out in time. But yeah,
That
obviously
is Yeah, that is terrifying.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. There's up in a small town called Waterfoot, which is just on the outskirts of Rottenstall, which is again is on the outskirts of Burnley.
Mm.
Um, there was a cave in Waterfoot that my mate Andy, some of his mates found this whilst we were 17, 18 and they're at grammar school. They found this cave and it was up at the back of the old like an old scouts home, like a retirement home for
Yeah.
scouts or something. So we used to sneak up there and we'd go in this cave and I think it was an old tin mine or something like that. And so we thought, you know the story of the labyrinth,
Yeah.
and what did the guy you use like a ball of wool or something to find his way out again,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah.
So they did that. So these guys they went in like the original adventurers of this group of friends, and they went into the main chamber. So it took about an hour or something to get deep into this mine, and then
Yeah.
you see the large open chamber in the middle. By the time they they asked me to go up there, I was like, yeah, okay, we're gonna go in, we're gonna camp in here, and you know, we had plenty of beer, we had all our camping gear, we had tents and sleeping bags and stuff like that. We had a bit of food. We were gonna start a fire and have some hot dogs and beans or something.
Yeah.
And so we get in there, and we're quarter or half of the way in, and we're following the thread, the wool,
Yeah.
on the way in, and we're like, where's the wool gone? And we're looking and we're like, oh no, the wool's underneath a massive like collapse.
Oh no.
Yeah, so there was like a huge collapse like on top of the wool, and we were
Yeah.
like, okay, well, it'll be right, you know, if it's gonna collapse we'll hear it, like we'll be able to get out. So we climb over the collapsed rock where it'd come down.
Oh gosh.
And
Yeah.
we carry on going, and we make our way in to the center of the cave. So we're having a few beers, and you know, we're in there for a little while, and they're like, should we get some kip? So we go and we, you know, get in the tents, and we're in the sleeping bags, and we're led there, and we can just hear this drip, 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 hitting the roof of the tent because it's still quite moist inside. It's wet inside the cave, and I just say to like Andy, I go, you think it's all right? Like, you know, with the dripping, you know, and the rocks that are around. And he goes, yeah, be fine. And then keeps going drip, drip, drip. And I said, well, you know, every time it drips, it's bringing down something with it, isn't it? Like a little bit of silt or something.
Yeah.
And then we all just, there was some sort of mass panic between us from one tent to the next. We all just freaked out, and we were like, we better get out of here now. So we packed everything up as quickly as we could, and then we're like scrambling to get out, and we managed to get out, and we're like, whoa, holy moly, like let's just go home to bed, like let's not risk that. But I went back there like a few times, and I went back in about 2005 2005 2006 with two other friends. We went much better prepared. So we had hard hats, we had glow sticks, we had like working boots, we had high vis vests, we had gloves, and we took cameras and stuff, and we filmed like all the way through. But when we arrived, the old scouts home wasn't there anymore. Somebody had built houses.
Oh no.
And the entrance to the cave was in somebody's back garden, and they had a dog. They had like a big old Labrador. But the garden was massive, and we climbed up the sheer face of trees and grass, and we get up to the top, and I'm like, Scott, right, you ready? Yeah. Adam, yeah, you ready? Yeah. He's like, what are we gonna do about that dog? I went, don't worry about the dog, we'll be okay, we'll be all right. I said, let's go over here. So we went over to the far left of the garden. I thought, all right, we'll just sneak around here, and we'll sneak in past the dog. And we kept going, and we're moving forward, keep going, and there's no other way. We come all that way, we're gonna go in. so we're trespassing, and we go, right, go, quick. We run past the dog into the cave, and luckily nobody comes out, nobody sees us. Dog's having a bit of a bark, but we're well in the cave then, and we go down, go through, crack the
Glow
the
stick.
sticks, yeah, the glow
Yeah.
sticks, have our torches as well. And so then we carry on going, and we get to the point where the thread is, and there's another 3 or 4 cave-ins again.
Oh my gosh.
The guys are like, we're not staying here for very long.
Yeah.
So we go exploring, and we're checking out different areas of the cave. And I still think about this today. In one part of the cave, there was like another exit that we hadn't been out of before.
Yeah.
And there was like a little piece of rock that, or like almost like a ledge, or what do you call it? A moat, not a moat, just a section that was cut out that was like
Right.
lower than where we were.
Yeah.
And down there was like barrels of God knows what, toxic waste or something that somebody tucked away down there.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I keep thinking now, like, that was 2006. I wonder if that's still there. Should I go check that out? Like, should I report that to someone? Because I didn't report it then because I didn't think about it. So yeah, we kind of, we looked at each other and we thought, we need to get out of here. And again, we made a rapid escape from the same set of caves, just different people. And yeah, I haven't been back since. But yeah, it's amazing what you can find like out there. That's kind of wild. Because a lot of those caves, they're they're maintained or like looked after, or they're like national sort of like treasures that you can go and see, like tourist attractions, like Cheddar Gorge.
Yeah.
You ever been there?
Yeah, I survey. That was my college trip, was to survey the Cheddar Gorge. Yeah, and the Cheddar Reservoir. Yeah.
I like that. Did you see the cheese when you were there?
I think so.
Yeah,
we were there a week, so I think we did go and see the cheese. But
I remember, I distinctly remember the smell. And off to the right hand side, like deep in the cave, there was like a metal walkway all the way through, and then there was one room that had metal bars and a lock on it. And in there on the shelves were all of these wheels of cheese that were maturing, and the smell was incredible. So yeah, I remember that. That was nice.
Yeah, well, I was above ground for that one. We were surveying from trig point to trig point, on the tops. So yeah, we only just went down to the cave to be tourists on that one. Yeah.
So thinking about caves and adventuring and all that sort of thing, something that we're trying to promote at college is the Duke of York Award, isn't it? No, Duke of Edinburgh. Duke of Edinburgh Award. Yeah. So what do you know about that? You seem to know a lot about that. Am I right?
Oh,
Have I put you on the spot?
Yeah, no, I don't know that much. I haven't actually completed the Duke of Edinburgh myself.
No,
I wish I had.
Yeah.
I was a Girl Guide, and I ran a brownie pack, so 15 years. But yeah, the Duke of York is all about learning and experiencing new skills, partaking and becoming, making new friends. So a lot of the students, young people, want to go with their friends, but actually it's about experiencing something new on your own and meeting and making networks, volunteering. So yeah, it's a great opportunity. And yeah, I think it helps young people to mature and actually
and build confidence as well.
Build confidence, self-reflect on themselves, and yeah, just help them, give them that confidence and maturity to go and find a career.
And I think it helps them to to network and make those lasting connections that you might think, oh, I'm just on this course for a short period, or I'm on this day trip for a short period, but you never know who you might meet. And you don't know how long those relationships will last or how deep they'll go. And you might meet somebody that you can collaborate with, or that you can work for, or they can work for you in the future. So
and they become lifetime friends, don't they?
Yeah. Because you have that shared experience where you might be scared, like you might be afraid to go and do something and take a chance, or you might never have experienced anything like that before because you live in a town or you live in a city, and
Yeah.
You know, so getting out into nature is really, really
Yeah.
important for us, important for all of us.
That's it. And the physical exercise as well. So
Yeah, it's great for mental
yeah,
health as well as physical health. They're you
yeah,
know, directly linked, aren't they?
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, being in nature is very important. So that's something that I would definitely recommend to all of our students and just people in general. Like
Yeah,
if you could,
yeah,
if you've
yeah,
got the opportunity to do that, you should
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
try and take advantage of that.
yeah. And particularly as our, without mentioning our college's name,
Yeah, yeah.
they have given our students the opportunity having it a reduced rate. Can we say
Yeah,
that?
it's £55 for the bronze at the minute,
Yeah,
isn't it? It's been heavily
yes,
subsidized, and
yes,
yeah, and also it's been marketed really
yeah,
well recently.
yeah.
We've got some nice posters up, and
Mm.
you know, Rob is doing a great job. So
Yeah,
big shout out to Rob.
yeah, yeah, Rob
Um,
Cook.
yeah, it was good to see. I saw him. I saw him the other day, and he gave me a wave and he gave me a thumbs up. And before that, I saw him at the careers event at the sports hall,
Right.
where there was the police were there, and there was cadets and the army and the navy
Yeah,
and air force were there,
yeah.
fire brigade were there. Who else was there? Ambulance
Um,
services, just everybody who was
yeah,
like
yeah. They had the
uniform
sniffer
services.
dogs. The prison, did they have prison
Yeah,
officers
they
there
had
as
sniffer
well?
dogs. They had the police had drones. The guy showed me the drone setup that they have in a
Yeah,
mobile van. Said
yeah.
it's got 200 times optical zoom, and it's got heat
Wow.
and night vision, so you can't get away.
No,
Like you can't hide.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he said that the whole setup was about £25,000, which is not, it's not mad. Like for the
yeah,
technology that it had on it, that I could
yeah.
see, it was have you seen the movie with
Yes,
Schwarzenegger? You see,
yes,
you know the way the predator vision changes.
yes. Yeah,
Wow, the drone can do all that. Trust
really.
me. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like
Oh,
it had loads of different vision modes on it,
oh,
so yeah,
yeah.
you can't hide from them.
No,
And he told me some nice stories as well. The police officer, he said he said, you know, we've got some of these smaller drones here. You know, every now and then we might need to, you know, there might be like an armed incident or something going on inside a building or a
yeah.
warehouse. We'll send one of these in first to like scope the place out before we send the boys in with the guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
You know, and
Yeah.
they can chase people from miles and miles with that 200 times optical zoom.
Oh,
My phone does 100, and I can take a picture of the
yeah,
moon,
yeah,
like a really good one.
yeah. I know. Technology is coming on so far and so quickly that,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'm due an upgrade on my phone as well.
It looks okay. Looks all right. Yeah, good quality. I can see you here.
Oh, I'm on my laptop,
Are you on your laptop? All
my
right, nice.
Lenovo laptop. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that event was amazing. I got some really great pictures of me with weapons of mass destruction.
I did see that. I did
Did
see
you
that
see
on
those?
LinkedIn. Yeah,
Yeah, I had guns like this, like
yeah.
and a rocket launcher, you know,
Yes,
on
yeah,
here. That
yeah.
was it was pretty
Seem to
cool.
be having
Very,
a good day with your
I had a really
students.
good day with them,
Yeah,
yeah. And you know, I really, I've got a lot of time for my
yeah,
students, and I really like all of them a lot.
yeah,
You know, there's not, you know, there's not a bad one amongst them, and you know, the more that we can do things like that, where we can get
yeah.
out and you know,
Hmm.
go on these little adventures,
Yeah,
and they can find out more about the world of work,
yeah,
you know, the better for them, I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
love
I mean,
that.
my passion has been the maritime industry, really trying to promote that. So I tried to do that in, well, I did that in Careers Week this year, where we had David from Babcock International, who was actually working in Oman at the time, and I had a live internet link with him, telling us about the maritime industry and how all kinds of um, careers can feed into the maritime industry. So it's not necessarily just going to sea and being a sailor or in the merchant navy. It's IT, it's cyber security, it's mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, but it's also accounting, HR, things that can be done offshore, not necessarily just onshore all the time. Um, so that was a really big thing for me that I managed to get for Careers Week.
Yeah, there was
Wow.
when I was at that careers fair, I spoke to one of the chaps from the Navy,
Yeah,
and he works in submarines,
yeah,
and he said, you know, one of the things that all these boys, like, they don't know, you know, the army guys, or the coppers, you know, I don't contribute to my pension, and I don't pay national insurance. I don't pay tax, so everything that I earn is mine.
yeah,
So like, and when they pay my pension, they pay it. Like, I don't contribute anything to it,
yeah,
and that's like a bonus for doing that dangerous work, going
but
all the way down
yeah,
there,
yeah,
in that submarine. And you know, I'm 39 now. I'm 40, like, in a couple of weeks. But he said you still got time. He said you can sign up, like, you
yeah,
sign up before you're 40.
yeah,
And
oh,
I was like, you know,
yeah,
he was selling it, like, he was
yeah,
saying, you know, the wage is really good, you know, food is
yeah,
great, gets exercise, see the world, and, you know, do all the
yeah,
training. I was like, oh, I'm meant to be here for the kids. Like, this guy is selling me. I'm almost signing up to the Navy here.
yeah,
Um, but yeah,
mm,
he did make it sound good.
yeah,
So, and I think what was really good was, when my students were there, I for people who are watching, I teach computing and ICT, computer science. Um, the students' ideas of what they can do as a job at the
mhm,
moment is quite limited. It's quite
yeah,
small. They think that they can be game designers or developers or
yeah,
coders or web designers. But
mm,
by taking them to that event, it
yeah,
enabled them to see that, oh, well, if I do well in computing, I can go and, like,
yeah,
work in this field, or, you know, go and work in a submarine, or, you know, the
yeah,
applications of computing technology is everywhere, isn't it now?
yeah, definitely. And it's not, as you say, it's not just about computer gaming, which is what they all think. But there's animation as well.
Yeah.
There's the film industry. There's the medical research as well. So in order to facilitate programs and things in research, you need computer skills, don't you? And designing those software packages and programs. So yeah, it's not just about gaming and esports, although they are cool.
Yeah, they are cool. Like, the main thing that we do is problem solving. You
Yeah,
know, as a computer scientist
mm,
or a computer user, you're solving problems all day.
yeah, that's it.
um, and, you know, if you get good at that, you can
Mm,
apply that to anything. You
yeah,
can apply that to any sort of job or career or walk of life,
yeah.
because there's always, you know, a need for people who can solve issues.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's all about your transferable skills, isn't it? So it's promoting in your employability skills, soft skills that you can take with you in any job that you're looking to go into.
So what kind of tips would you give to young people looking for work experience or looking for a job?
Okay. I would say that you need to ask lots of questions. You know, I know it's hard to talk to your peers or to talk to your family and your parents or aunts and uncles or grandparents, but they have that knowledge already. They've been and experienced it. So um, talk to people. Don't be frightened. Ask questions. People love to talk about what they've done. Look at us. We've spent nearly an hour talking
Yeah.
about what we've been up to. Um, and we enjoy, in a way, reminiscing but learning all the time. So I'm trying to um, do interviews for careers. So I'm a career advisor and I help students find work experience. So it's, you know, when I talk to employers, it's, well, what would you tell your 16-year-old self or 18-year-old self? How would you like to have done your career? Would you have done your career differently? Um, and it is about a journey and an aspiration. And to ask that young person, not what do you want to be when you grow up, but how do you want your life to be when you have got to your 30s or your 20s? How do you feel that you want to be in, you know, do you want to have a house? Do you want to live in this country even? You know, some people that I've met in the past haven't even wanted to leave their county that they've been born in. Is talking about that aspiration and actually taking them seriously and looking towards that future goal, and how do they get to being that millionaire or being that person that's running their own business. And it's taken them through those steps backwards, but they've got to have engagement as well, and that reality of taking it forward.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I was at high school, I did 2 weeks of work experience, and at that time I was interested, very much interested in two different things. I was interested in technology, resistant materials, so like working with plastics and working with wood and creating things. So I was into carpentry, and I was also into computers, and those were my two kind of passions, and that and art. And so I put down the type of jobs or placements that I'd be interested in, and my teachers sent me to a coffin making factory. So I made coffins for 2 weeks. So yeah, they have a wicked sense of humor, and I got the old well, that's not a dying trade, yeah, there's always going to be customers and stuff like that. But I did actually get paid for my work experience, which is kind of extremely rare. But I think that was more to do with the fact of they knew that I was coming a very long way. I was traveling from a place called Padiham, and I was catching a bus or two buses to go to a place called Cone, and it took me over an hour and a half to get there, something like that. And I was always on time and always there with a smile on my face, so my work experience report is absolutely glowing, and I was really proud of that, because I wasn't the best kid at school, by any stretch, but I worked really hard, and I think they could see that, and so they gave me $37.50 for each week when I was there, which to me that was tons of money. So and I never forget working there. That was Walter Lambert and Sons in Cone and Nelson. So yeah, that was a long time ago.
That's it. But you still remember those experiences, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it goes with you. So
I spent a lot of time like either sanding or polishing, and learning about the techniques of how to make it, even though it was something a bit macabre, it was something a bit different. It wasn't like I wasn't out on site building houses or door frames or windows. I was making a coffin, and I knew that these are going to be used at some stage. So I had that in my mind as I was there, but I could see how fast and how hard the people around me were working in these sort of manual labor style jobs. And I still remember the jokes. I got sent to go and pick up some tartan paint and a left-handed screwdriver and all sorts of. I got told to go and go find a long weight and stuff like that. They even let me. They let me use a machine that carved letters into brass. To do little memorabilia plaques for small caskets for ashes or something like that. And I remember I put my finger on the wrong place when I was using it once, and I put it on top of a thing that was spinning really fast, and it cut a little circle right in my finger. And I was like, oh no, like I never forget stuff like that. And I also, they kind of gave me a break as well. On the second week, on the Thursday, they let me go out on deliveries. So I went out with the delivery driver, and he took me all around Lancashire. We were dropping coffins off at one funeral director and another, and we ended up going to a funeral director's in Lytham, and that's the town that I ended up living in before I came here.
Right.
And it's really weird, because I'd pass that funeral directors on the way to the doctors or dentist every time. So I had this memory of when I dropped the coffin off there. The guy was like, oh yeah, come on, bring it through the workshop. And the workshop at the funeral directors, it had a coffin there with an old guy laid out in the coffin. He's being prepared, and he's dressed. I remember his mustache and military medals, and he was there, and that was the first time I ever saw a dead body ever on work experience.
Wow.
So those memories, they stay with you. You never know what you're going to do.
No. Yeah, truly amazing. My work experience, I ended up working for British Aerospace in Hatfield. Some friends got me the work placement, and I worked in the estates department. So I was just doing the admin stuff. So actually, I'd gone. This was before college that I was doing surveying, and I thought I did secretarial skills. So I found a job as a secretary, work experience. So I was there the 2 weeks, mandatory 2 weeks, and at the end of the 2 weeks, the lady said, "Well, Lesley, you've done a fantastic job. You've really worked hard. You've done everything you were asked to do, and just follow me. We're going to take you to see somewhere." So I went through the factory where they were making the Boeing 747s, and we came to this huge building, 2 stories, walked up the steps, and as I opened the door, I opened up the door to the cockpit of the 747, and I got to fly it, although it was a simulator. I landed this 747 at Shanghai airport at night with all the lights around the paddy fields. And yeah, I did a perfect landing. So
Wow.
I could land a plane in Die Hard movies.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I was in a
anybody
disaster, yeah.
anybody watching, like if you're going on holiday and you can see Lesley sat near you, you're in
Yeah,
good hands. Like you're all
yeah,
right, she's got it,
that's
like in
it.
case there's an emergency.
Yeah, I can land this. So yeah, so I rushed when I got home. I said to my dad, "Dad, I've been to Shanghai today," and he spat out his tea. Like, what? And I said, "Yeah, I've been to Shanghai and landed a plane." So yeah, that was my memory. It's actually physically having this huge big aircraft simulation, and the pilot sort of guided me and told me what to do, and yeah, it was an amazing opportunity, something
So,
that
yeah, so like we both have had very, very different experiences there, but they
yeah,
both have stuck with us, haven't they?
yeah,
Like, all this
yeah,
time.
yeah,
And we're not going to forget that. And
right.
that we've learned something from that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that a lot of students, a lot of kids have found it really, really hard over the past couple of years and missed out on a lot of work experience
Yeah.
opportunities because of the pandemic and because of COVID. So what can those kids do?
Well, I would say that they still, keep researching what career you want to go into. Have a look at the opportunities that are out there in the virtual world now. So places like Speakers for Schools or Inspiring the Future may have some opportunities, and there are other places as well, but those two come to mind.
Yeah, also World Skills UK.
Yes, World Skills UK. So
Very
we've got
good.
students going on there. But have a look at webinars, and companies as well are doing virtual work experiences themselves.
Yeah,
Research,
there's a lot from Barclays, isn't there,
yeah,
and Lloyd's
yeah,
TSB,
yeah,
and
yeah,
many banks
yeah,
have virtual work experiences
yeah,
where they can give you day courses or
yeah,
interactive online courses where
yeah.
you learn about what it's like to work in
So,
an office
yeah,
environment or in
or
those businesses.
yeah, or in museums. So some of the national museums actually have virtual work experiences, and large construction companies as well, or places like the Maritime UK organisation have lots of resources where you can look up and see what it's like to work on a ship or offshore or onshore, land-based, supporting the maritime industry as well. Yeah, just get out there and research. It's not going to come to you. You've got to go to it.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing. Like, yeah,
yeah,
don't be afraid, and
yeah,
don't be afraid to cold contact companies. They love
no,
to cold contact you to
yeah,
try and sell you
yeah,
stuff.
that's
So
it.
turn it
Yeah,
on its head, and just send what's known as a speculative letter out to
yeah,
companies and say, hey guys, I've got these sorts of skills. I'm looking
yeah,
for this sort of experiences. That have you got
mhm,
any opportunity? And
yeah,
you might not get it straight away, but after the 10th or 20th letter,
yeah.
something might come through.
But that's
Um,
reality as well, isn't
yeah,
it? That's why might be how long it takes you to get a job.
Definitely,
it's
yeah.
10 or 12 attempts. So
Like in times in the past, if I've ever found myself in between jobs or unemployed, I always thought that my job at that time is to find a job, and I would
yes,
treat that period of time exactly like that. I'd get up
yeah,
at the normal time. I'd
yeah,
do a minimum of 25 applications that day. I do them
yeah,
every single day, so that by day 4 I had 100 applications out there,
yeah,
and by the end of the week I definitely had at least 1, 2, 3
yeah.
interviews. And
That's
then you
it.
go to those interviews, and out of those you get a job if
Yeah,
you're if you're
yeah,
charismatic enough.
yeah. That's it.
It's just a numbers game, you
Yeah,
know.
it is.
Yeah,
And persevering and not giving up, and yeah, and going towards to contact local employers as well within your reach. So, when you're 16, 17, you're not going to have that car maybe yet. So
yeah,
you've got to think logically about how you're going to get to that placement. So
yeah,
yeah. Mm,
definitely.
mm.
Okay, so yeah, we've done over an hour.
We have, wow.
Yeah,
We weren't going to do half an hour, were we? Weren't we?
I know it's gone really quick, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it has for me. I hope I haven't bored
Yeah,
you
no, not at all. Yeah.
regaling stories of caves
Yeah.
and God knows what.
Oh,
So yeah, Lesley, thank you so much for your time
you're
and for
welcome.
coming onto the podcast. And you're the first person from from the same company that we work
Yeah,
at who's reached out, or who I reached out to and accepted.
yeah.
Um,
Well, it's my
so
pleasure.
yeah, and you've got some competition because coming up in December, I've got Joyce Chen coming onto the coming onto the podcast.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh, Joyce
yeah.
is great. She's got her own podcast at work, hasn't she? So,
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be good.
you're
Yeah,
gonna are you gonna podcast each other at the
I
same
don't I don't I'm
time?
not sure if she's gonna interview me. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't think I've got that much to say. That was that was
really?
my sort of before I started this, that was the thing that was holding me back. I was like, who's gonna listen to me? I've got nothing to say. But then I thought, well, you're almost 40 now. It's now or never. Let's go. Let's
That's,
do this.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I've got some
Oh.
stories that people might find amusing.
Yeah, no, and your voice is fantastic. It's
Oh,
lovely to
thanks.
hear when I've been listening to you on podcasts while I've been driving on my risk assessments for work.
Oh, thank
So
you.
it's been good. Yeah.
Is it blatantly obvious that I'm from the north? Do I sound very northern? No.
Not really.
I
No, you've
think
got
I'm
a twang.
starting, yeah, I'm starting to assimilate now, I think, to this area.
Yeah.
Like some of the people I work with sound very posh, like Paula, she's she's very posh.
Oh,
And
I
I,
don't know what you think of me then, because I'm from Hertfordshire, from the home counties.
Hertfordshire. Yeah,
Hertfordshire.
it's kind of neutral. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Not really northern or south. It's just kind
No.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
lovely. Anyway, so have you got any plans for the weekend?
I'm visiting family
Okay.
in London.
Before we
So
all get locked down.
yes, before we all go and
Yeah,
lock
because
down.
Boris is he was alluding to that a little bit. I saw on Sky News earlier.
Oh, I haven't seen the news yet tonight.
Yeah,
So,
if you go on YouTube, there's a little like a 1 minute clip of Boris kind of alluding to the
oh,
fact that a storm
okay.
is coming and our friends in Europe are all locked down, and like
Yeah,
we've been here before kind of thing he was saying. So I'm not looking forward to that. But
no.
yeah,
Okay, I
better
better nip down there quickly then and
yeah,
get
go
that
see
done.
him and exchange
Yeah,
presents and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, have a
lovely.
look.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, have a lovely weekend.
You too. Yeah, and my case of wine from Laithwaite's has just arrived today, so I'm going to enjoy.
Excellent.
I'm going to enjoy a nice
that.
bottle of wine with the wife, and then tomorrow
Yeah.
go and watch Ghostbusters.
Oh, enjoy. You have to tell me about it next week.
I will do. Yeah, I will. I'll try to I'll wait a couple of weeks and then I'll do some sort of
Yeah.
review or something about it on here. I don't like to spoil films for people if if I can
No.
help it. So yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to see you on Monday. I'm going to give you a big hug. I don't care about social distancing. I just so yeah, thanks for sharing everything. It's
That's
been
all right.
brilliant.
It's been lovely. Thank you very much.
No worries. Take care.
All right, and you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
We came, we saw, we kicked it.